name is Sadie, and I'm here to share my story. My early relationship with Chris, my husband, was built on trust and loyalty. We were the kind of couple that shared the same values and morals, and we believed in absolute privacy and respecting each other's boundaries. We never snooped into each other's belongings because we trusted each other completely. We were doing pretty well financially and had reached a point in our lives when we were ready to start a family. After months of trying, I finally got pregnant. Chris and I were beyond overjoyed. We were beyond excited to welcome our little one into the world. However, 3 months into the pregnancy, tragedy struck, and I suffered a devastating miscarriage. The loss of our child affected both of us. While I tried desperately to communicate with Chris and get through our loss together, Chris kept to himself and ignored me. Chris started pouring all his time and energy into his work. He would often spend late nights at the office. Fictions, I would come home to an empty house, sleep alone in an empty bed, and wake up the next morning only to find him already gone. I understood that he needed time to grieve, but the way he was ignoring me made me feel so hurt and alone. No matter how hard I tried to talk to Chris, he just never seemed to want to talk to me. I kept trying to get Chris to talk to me, in the hope that he would respond properly. As time went on, Chris's hard work paid off, and he got promoted. This meant that he had to travel frequently for business. Surprisingly, his travel seemed to bring back a glimpse of the man I fell in love with. It was bittersweet for me because it felt like he was only his old self. After all, he could spend time away from me. Still, I chose to focus on the happiness that came back into our lives. We began to reconnect. Chris would take me out on dates whenever he came back and would buy me gifts from all of his travels. Our love started to blossom once again. The kisses, hugs, and affection that had been missing for so long returned, and my heart was filled with joy. It felt like we were on the road to healing, and I held on to that hope. Then, one day, Chris informed me that he would be going on another business trip.
Baby, can't be serious. Another business trip. And it's so close to your birthday. I want to celebrate it with you.
I know, darling, and I wish I could stay too, but this trip is unavoidable. I promise I'll be back on my birthday itself.
Can't you postpone it? It's just 2 weeks away. I don't want you to miss your birthday.
I wish I could, but it's crucial for the company. Or sex. Please trust me, I'll make it up to you. You'll have an amazing celebration when I return.
Okay, fine. But you better keep your word. Promise me, you'll video call me every day and you won't forget to be back on your birthday.
I promise, darling. Liaise our abduction. Copy. Keep cross my heart. I'll call you every day, and I'll be back to celebrate with you on my birthday. Nothing will stop me from being there with you.
Alright, I trust you. But don't make it too long, okay?
I promise I won't be too long. Right? Just before you know it, I'll be right back kissing your arms. Hi, you darling. Expressions of bright mirrors. I promise it won't be too long. Just before you know it, I'll be right back into your arms. Hi, you darling. Tippy tippires.
I love you too, babe. Take care and come back soon. We'll make this birthday celebration the best one yet.
Once he left, I threw myself into planning a grand surprise for his 35th birthday. I wanted to show him how much he meant to me and how far we had come together. I contacted Chris's parents, Rosie and Tom, who lived in a neighboring state, which was a 10-hour drive away. I asked them to join the celebration. Our relationship had always been great, and they were excited to be part of my plan. I asked them to inform Chris's brother, Gary, and his family as well. With the excitement building up, I prepared the house for our guests. I ordered a custom cake from Chris's favorite bakery to surprise him with.
Stuck to his promise and video called me every night to update me about all the things he did during the day. When, for the first time in 6 months, I began to finally feel good.
I felt like my life was finally getting back together. Little did I know that it was all an illusion. Chris's parents arrived the day before his birthday, bringing warmth and support.
Rosie, Tom, I'm so glad you're here. I wanted Chris's birthday celebration to be extra special, and I couldn't imagine it without you both.
Oh dear, we're thrilled to be part of this plan. You've gone all out to make this day memorable for our son.
Extra time! You're so much effort into everything. How you expect us to help out for the party? Lay out the genuine pot. Don't worry about the decorating. I'll take care of it. Oh, shh! Beware done too much. Thank you. Here, Staden.
I saved the most important job for you. I wanted everything to be perfect for Chris. He deserves it.
We always knew Chris was lucky to have you. You've been so good for him, and we love seeing him happy with you.
I feel the same way about him. Despite the challenges we've faced, I love him more every day. Having you guys here makes this day even more special.
You've weathered storm together, and now it's time to celebrate. As really be asked.
Briskly, I can't wait to see the look on his face when he walks in and sees everyone here. This is going to be unforgettable.
On the night before Chris's birthday, I called Chris at around 11 p.m. while sitting in the living room along with everyone else. I tried my best to keep my excitement a secret, but I really struggled too. Chris and I talked for a while about our day, and I kept telling him about how excited I was to celebrate his day. Since I couldn't contain my secret for long enough, I told Chris that I had a surprise planned for him. He asked me what the surprise was multiple times, but I kept telling him that I would never tell him and that he had to come home and find out for himself. He laughed and let it go. Finally, when the clock struck midnight, I wished him a happy birthday. He thanked me with the widest smile on his face. He told me that he loved me and was very grateful for me. I felt so warm on the inside when I heard him tell me that. Then Chris mentioned that he had an early flight the next day and needed to sleep. I told him that it was okay and wished him good night. He then clicked his mouse and turned around. He didn't realize that his camera was still on. Camera was still on. I realized that he had not switched off his camera and smiled to myself at my husband's clumsiness. Just as I was about to cut the call, I heard him call out to someone named Haley to tell her she should come out of the bathroom. I felt my heart drop as I watched another woman walk out of the bathroom and hug my husband. He held her by her waist and kissed her. My father-in-law, Tom, noticed how quiet I had gotten and looked up to see my pale face. He walked over to see what was wrong, but he too went silent when he saw the screen. Eventually, everyone noticed how Tom and I were behaving and walked over. There, before our eyes, was Chris kissing another woman. The room fell silent as his family watched Chris cheating on me. Rosie, his mother, decided to take out her phone and take a couple of pictures as evidence. How could the person I loved do this to me? It felt like my heart was breaking, and I couldn't stop crying. I started doubting everything about us. While sitting with Chris's family, I found some comfort in their support and understanding. Chris' dad, Tom, was really angry and kept talking about how disappointed he was in Chris. But his mom, Rosie, stayed strong and calm. She hugged me tightly. She let me cry on her shoulder while she comforted me as best she could. Once I stopped crying, and I could talk, we all gathered together. It was then that Rosie revealed something that shocked me. She'd been married to another man before Tom, and he had betrayed her in the same way Chris had betrayed me. Rosie told me that she understood my pain because she had gone through the same thing before. She told me that she always taught Tom and Gary the importance of being faithful and loyal. She was disgusted by Chris's actions and said she would support whatever choice I made. Tom, Gary, and his wife all agreed with Rosie's feelings completely. I felt a mix of emotions, going from sad to angry. The excitement I once had turned into disgust. I thought about getting revenge. I told Chris's family about it and they were on my side. Rosie said she was proud of my decision, and Gary offered to find out who the woman was that Chris had been with.
Don't worry about finding out who that woman is. I'll handle it. I'll have my way of digging up the information.
Gary, thank you so much. I would like to know who it is that my lovely husband found comfort in that wasn't me.
Sadly, dear, I've already contacted my previous lawyer. He'll help us with the divorce proceedings. You won't have to go through this alone. That was incredibly fast. Wow, he's a lawyer. They don't sleep. Plus, he owed me a favor.
I am in awe of you. I literally can't thank you enough for your support. It means the world to me.
And as for Chris, well, he's in for the best surprise present ever. A life of loneliness. He deserves every bit of it.
Sadie, I know this is a difficult time, but I have a brilliant idea for the party tomorrow. Trust me, it will be worth it.
I don't understand. I wasn't planning on having a party. I'm way too heartbroken to celebrate the man that caused me the heartbreak. Shouldn't he focus on the divorce instead?
No, trust me, Sadie. Tomorrow we'll pretend like we know nothing. Treat Chris the same way we always have, and then surprise him at the end. Plus, it will give us time to finalize the divorce proceedings. It's about giving him the ultimate surprise and ensuring he understands the consequences of his actions.
That actually sounds amazing. Let's do it. It'll be a night he'll never forget. Thank you all for being here for me.
Everyone kept their promises. Gary found out that the woman Chris was with worked under him at his job, which broke company rules. I asked Gary to email Chris's company with evidence of his cheating and misuse of his position. It would take time for the company to review everything. Mary used her connections to make a big banner with a picture of Chris kissing the woman. We planned to use it at the party the next day. Rosie got in touch with her old lawyer, who quickly found someone nearby to help us. He assured us everything would be ready for our meeting the next day. I must have looked surprised when I saw her lawyer respond so fast, because Rosie laughed and told me that he was her best lawyer for a reason. The next morning, Chris came home. Not knowing what was happening, his family acted like they didn't know anything, and he hugged me lovingly. I felt even more disgusted and hurt, but I pretended everything was okay. Later that day, I told Chris I had to get his birthday cake. Tom offered to go with me, and we went to the divorce lawyer's office. Just on the way there, Tom and I talked and shared our feelings.
Sadie, I know this must be incredibly tough for you. I can't imagine what you're going through.
It's been a roller coaster of emotions, Tom. I never expected this to happen.
I know of Dawson. It's heartbreaking when someone we trust and love betrays us like this. He deserves so much better.
I just keep asking myself, why did he do this? And why did I not see it coming?
It's not your fault. Sometimes people hide their true selves until it's too late. You loved him with all your heart, and that's a beautiful thing. Yang Dafron Fayanuran.
It's just so hard. I never thought our lives would end up like this. I loved Chris so much, and now it feels like everything has fallen apart.
Bye, Belster. Pissing fun you love is never easy. I remember you're not alone in this. I'm here for you, supporting you every step of the way.
It's just overwhelming. The pain, the betrayal. I don't know how to process it all.
It's natural to feel overwhelmed. Crash dash there. Ain't your time to grieve and heal. But don't forget that you're strong, much stronger than you realize. I'll come out of this even stronger.
Thanks. I really needed to hear that right now. It's hard to see a future beyond this, but I know I have to keep going.
You're weak about this, D. It might not be easy, but you'll find your way. And in time, you'll be able to rebuild your life and find happiness again.
I hope so. Right now it feels like a distant dream, but I'll hold on to that hope. Let's get through this meeting and then head back. The sooner this is over, the sooner I can start rebuilding my life. And also, thank you for being here for me.
Bye Eaperster anytime, Sadies. Bye family, and we'll get through this together. Just remember you're not alone, and we'll support you for each step of the web ray.
I collected the divorce papers, thanked the lawyer, and paid his fee before leaving with a heavy heart. I picked up the cake to maintain the facade along the way. As we returned home, Rosie and the kids kept busy in the backyard while the grand showdown was being set up in the living room. Mary assembled the banner. When everything was in place, I walked up to Chris in the backyard. I covered his eyes and led him into the house. As I removed my hands, his confusion and excitement quickly turned into fear when he saw the large banner of him kissing his mistress. His face drained of color, and through stutters, he asked me to explain what was going on. Without a word, I handed him the divorce papers.
What does all of this mean? Why are you giving me divorce papers? They can we work things out?
Chris, this is the final straw. I've tried to make things work, but your betrayal is too much to bear. You broke my trust, and it's irreparable. I can't go on like this anymore.
Please, Eddie, be patient and Sir Ace Key survived. I was going through a difficult time. I didn't handle us well. I'm sorry for what I've done. Give me another chance, please.
Chris, I lost our child, too. I spent months grieving, and you shut me out. You refused to talk to me or share your pain. I stayed because I loved you, but I can't ignore you cheating on me. I deserve better than this.
But let me understand me right.
A son of mine is a cheating and lying piece of crap. You've disrespected Sadie and our family's values. You don't deserve to be a part of our family.
I raised you to be better than this. But to see you disregard our values so disrespectfully is heartbreaking. I don't even know who you are anymore. I don't want to see you again either. Chris, please. You understand me, right?
Absolutely not. I do not want to be associated with someone as cruel as you, Chris. You've hurt Sadie and our family. I want nothing to do with you.
What a title!
You've had your chance and you let me down. You have a week to pack and move out.
You can evict me.
Oh yes, I can. This house was bought for me under my name by my parents before we got married. Retribution stats. That's all you get.
Eddie, please don't do this to us. I did the most for us, Chris. Nice! You broke us! I smart with your consequences.
Bunny Chris's world crumbled before his eyes, losing his family and his home in an instant. A couple of weeks later, Chris's company had reviewed the evidence we'd sent them. After a thorough discussion, they decided to fire Chris and Haley for their violation of workplace relationship policies. I only know this because Chris came over to my place and banged on the door till I opened it. He then began to yell at me for taking away his source of income.
Chris, these are the consequences of your actions. Surely you can't be surprised that you got fired due to your gross violation of workplace policies?
Also, what is me supposed to do now? How will I support myself?
That's something you'll have to figure out. I can't be responsible for your choices. It's time you learn to take responsibility for your actions.
What happened to you? What happened to the city who was so kind and loving? I just cold and cruel.
She died the second you left her for another woman. It's goodbye and good luck, Chris.
After this difficult journey, I felt free. I realized my worth and chose a path that made me happy and safe. Chris's actions hurt me, but they also showed me how strong I am. With the help of Chris's family, I found the courage to start again. Though I still have the pain of betrayal, I learned the importance of trust, loyalty, and talking openly in a relationship. I hope that my story will remind you to cherish those you love and stand up for yourself if you're ever treated wrong. It's hard, but with support and determination, you can become stronger and wiser.